My name is Jen Lindsay.
My name is Christina.
My name's Andrew Cranis, and I'm from New York City.
I'm originally from San Diego, California.
I was born in Hartford, Connecticut. My mother is American and my father Italian.
When I left North America for the first time in 1996, I came to Rome with my high school choir, and something about this place, maybe it was just because it was the first time I crossed the Atlantic Ocean, but there was something about this place that really called to me with its complexity and its elegance and the passion for the quality of everyday life experience, and with all of the conundrums and dissonances of how life interacts with religion here and multiculturalism fascinated me even as a 17-year-old. So I knew that I wanted to come back here for a longer amount of time, but I never guessed that I would end up moving here, but I guess nobody in my life was really surprised.
Well, in a way, I grew up in both places because my family lived here in Rome, but we would spend the whole summer, entire summer in the United States, outside of Hartford, and with my grandparents. And so we were there from June to October because Italian school started really late. So we had almost 4 or 5 months in the States every year.
So I was working in a design studio, and I won the Rome Prize. So I was looking for an opportunity to do more advanced research in my field, and so I was working at a Whole Foods market, the supermarket chain, as a store designer, and I took a leave of absence. I didn't really have a background with Italy at all, but my wife had been here and studied abroad many years before, and she always loved it, and we had spent some time here before. But the real motivator was that the Rome Prize Fellowship is run out of Rome, and so it was a very good, prestigious opportunity for me.
I'm a sociologist and a documentary filmmaker, and I've been doing both of those things in some proportion for about 2 decades. I was doing them prior to coming to Rome, and I wasn't totally committed to any particular country when I undertook my fieldwork for my PhD in sociology, but initially I thought I was going to end up in Indonesia because that's where I did my master's fieldwork on religious diversity.
I went to Barnard College in New York. I kept going back and forth because I wasn't really sure that I wanted to return to Rome, but the life was easier, more pleasant in a way, coming back from New York and that sort of cutthroat competition that you had there and in college. I continued my art history studies. I got a graduate degree at the University of Rome. And then I had this encounter through one of my professors with someone who suggested that I would study also art conservation, because that was a field that I would need to know something about if I was going to become a good art historian. I actually went back to the States and worked for the Guggenheim Museum, but for a short time.
So I have 2 kids, and they were both born in Rome. They came about after we'd been here already 7 years, and it's a delight to raise kids in Rome. It's a very friendly city for families.
I am married to a wonderful Italian guy, and we have the best dog in the world. And when I first moved here, I would say that I really resisted living here for a good 4 years because I wasn't really sure how to interact with all of the profound inconveniences of life in Italy. As an American who's always looking to be productive and get things done and move fast, and Italy just does not work at the same speed as the big city life in the United States.
My lifestyle in New York was definitely a different pace and more fun for under many aspects, but here I'm more relaxed. I eat better food, and just in general, I think that at the beginning it was very, very hard to adjust because of the slowness of everything. I'd go to an office to get something done, and then it wouldn't get done for days or weeks, and in New York you can do it in 10 minutes, and that was really frustrating.
I've never felt it was a wrong decision, but I have always missed the States because that's where my people are. So we've really just had to make the adjustment in making most of our vacations about getting back to see family. We're encouraging them to come to see us, and we've been pretty successful with that. I've never regretted moving here, but I do think that there are ways in which I have allowed being here and loving Rome to guide the decisions I've made about my professional life.
they asked me to stay at the Guggenheim, and at that point I decided that I was too young to close myself in one specific career, but in a way I think that if I stuck to that, it would have been a different life, and but that's the only regret I have. All the others, the experiences I've had going around the world for conservation projects, and I've never lost that international part of me. That's what I've always tried to keep alive while being here. So I love the life here, but I need that outside stimulus that I don't get in Rome from sort of the professional world.
My life was so different before I came here, and so many of my important life events have happened since I've been here that I'm just purely speculating about what's different about me, because I could have gotten to this age and been exactly the same there. But I feel like I dug in Rome, like we bought a home here, and we had children here, and we created a kind of structure for our lives here, which was obviously not going to be the path that I took if I had stayed in the States. New York is where I lived when I was in the U.S., and I know I would be working a lot harder if I were there for the same quality of life because of the financial situation in the United States, but I don't really have a way of telling what kind of life I'd have.
I have always known that there was a very narrow amount of avenues that I could pursue professionally here. So I would never talk in terms of regret about moving here, because I think that regret is silly, because every decision you make in life shapes you and, you know, opens different possibilities that you couldn't have thought of if you hadn't made that quote-unquote mistake. But I would say ultimately I can see that my quality of life is more consistent, higher, and more affordable here than it would be in the United States. So